And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. We do have a breaking news story and of course a story that is still developing. So depending on what time you're watching this guys, there may be further updates. But we're going to be going through what we currently know with regard to a mass shooting in Giessen marketplace out in Germany. At the time of recording guys, a suspect is still on the run. Several people currently injured, but of course this story is developing and has only just reached the sort of news now. We're going to be of course going through some the articles and keep you up to date. Go on to X to try and find out the latest, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get a bit more further updates whilst we are live. I must say, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more. And in other news, quickly just before we get in, Ian Watkins, do you remember the nonce Ian Watkins, a front singer, a lead singer of a metal band? He has of course been stabbed to death in prison, in a prison attack earlier on today. So yeah, Ian Watkins has been killed and has died in prison. That's some news from the UK. But let's get into the developing story out in Giessen in Germany. So as stated guys, as you can see, this is from DW News, Germany, several injured after shooting incident in Giessen. Several people were injured Saturday after a person opened fire at a marketplace in a town in central Germany, according to local media reports. The town Giessen is located in the state of Hesse, with the state public broadcaster reporting that the perpetrator is still on the run. Police have cornered off the market square and there was no danger to the public, according to sources. And as you can see, this is a breaking news story and it will be updated. So what we currently know, in fact, we need some more information here. So as you can see here on X, a gunman opened fire in the central marketplace of Giessen, Germany on Saturday afternoon around 4 p.m, injuring several bystanders near a sports betting office. Police quickly cornered off the area and initiated a manhunt for the suspect, who fled the scene. With no fatalities, okay, that's good so far, reported, and no terrorism links identified as of yet. Hessen Interior Minister Roman Posek described the incident as unacceptable as investigators review surveillance footage and appeal for witnesses. Let's go over to some of the latest on what's happening. So this image is from the scene. Obviously you can see it from the thumbnail. Not a lot developing as of yet, as it's literally just hit over the last few minutes. But that's, of course, the area on where this has happened. But multiple people shot. And I'm interested to see how they sort of spin this one off. Because, my goodness me. But as you can see, developing story. This is all of the kind of latest. Let's go through some of the top posts with regard to this. But as you can see, just not a lot of information as of yet. Several people were injured in Giessen, Germany, after a man opened fire near a market. Now, I always wonder, how on earth can they just identify and say that, well, there is no threat to the public right now, despite there being a man who's just shot multiple people in the street on the run? I always find that very, very interesting to find out. But yeah, let's have a little look to see if there's any more. As you can see, just hitting X as we speak now. But of course, my thoughts and prayers are going to currently people that have been affected by this incident. As you can see, not a lot of information. So it's probably one of those things that we're going to have to wait and come back to as the stream goes on. But let's see if I can find anything on thing, because X is usually pretty good for sort of footage, if anything had been recorded at the time. But let's have a look at Giessen, shall we? So shooting Giessen, top posts, breaking mass shooting in Giessen marketplace, Germany, multiple injuries, police manhunt underway, suspect is still on the run. Just trying to find, let's see if there's any bit more in German that we can find here with regard to this. 3 people were shot in a betting shop. So there's a little bit more detail there in terms of 3. In a betting shop earlier, the perpetrator was on the run. However, there was allegedly no danger to the public. The severity of the injuries is unknown. There have been no fatalities, at least so far. So there's a little bit more information there with regard to 3. I'll probably have to change my title then, as it says mass. Sorry, I did get it from reports. But if it's several, I think more than 3 can constitute as a mass shooting, but I probably should change the mass bit, unless there's any more developing. Several injuries thus far. So yeah, that's kind of all we've got with regard to the shooting so far in Germany. But we will be staying live for a little bit longer. I want to get your reaction as well. But as you can probably tell, this is going to be a developing story. So this looks like the betting shop that it occurred in. And of course, you can see a police presence in and around the area. But this is a modern day thing in Europe right now. If it's not in Europe, if it's not in Germany, it's in France. If it's not in France, then it's in the UK. If it's not there, it's the Netherlands. It's always something that is correlating across modern day Europe at this moment in time, and it's something that we see a lot at this moment. But as you can see there, from the sort of post, as we can see at the top in the X, they've sort of confirmed on X now, whether you take that for what you want. They said that the gunman opened fire in a central marketplace of Giessen, injuring several bystanders. So they were just random people by the looks of things. Bystanders. Not sure. Maybe a robbing, betting office. Something to do with robbing, I don't know, and people may have got injured in the sort of crossfire, but they're saying he's fled the scene. And of course that there is no terrorism links identified, no fatalities, which is also good, but at the same time there is no imminent threat, or there is no danger to the public. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what develops on that story there. But as you can also see, ladies and gentlemen, a little double whammy for you in terms of breaking news. You've got Ian Watkins, who has died. Of course, you know Ian Watkins, this individual here. A beast, really, really disgusting. Obviously, the lead singer of the Lost Prophets, and essentially, went to prison for 29 years for some heinous crimes. And look, you got fucking weirdos doing shit like this, sticking that up. But as you can see, a paedophile, but he has been murdered in prison. I'm just going to try and get a bit more reaction on that, as you can see here with regard to the Lost Prophet singer. But Ian Watkins has died after being attacked in prison. The paedophile rock star was serving a 29-year sentence at HMP Wakefield in West Yorkshire for child sex offences. He was attacked with a knife by another inmate, sources have confirmed. Emergency services were sent to the prison, but Watkins was pronounced dead at the scene. The prison went into lockdown in the immediate aftermath of the incident, sources added. The 48-year-old was jailed for 29 years in December 2013, with a further 6 years on licence after admitting to a string of sex offences, including that. Yeah, disgusting. An evil man, showed no remorse for what he did whatsoever. But yeah, he was also arrested following the execution of a drugs warrant at his former home in Pontypridd in Wales on September 21st, 2012, when a large number of computers, mobile phones and storage devices were seized. Analysts of the equipment uncovered Watkins' depraved behaviour. So yeah, that's an update with regard to Ian Watkins. He has been stabbed to death in Wakefield prison. So that's what's going on. And of course, there is going to be a police investigation as to what happened with regard to him. So yeah, you're seeing that. I mean, people in suppose in high spirits, I suppose on X at the moment in time, with regard to Ian Watkins, a truly despicable and evil person, has been stabbed to death in prison. Let's get over to Giessen quickly and see what has happened, if there's anything more with regard to this shooting that has erupted. Let's see what's happening in German news. Shots fired at marketplace. There are reportedly already several injured. The perpetrator is said to have shot at people in a sports betting shop near the marketplace. So still kind of the same information as of yet. And I'm not sure we're going to get a lot more new information. I'll put this into English quickly. This is probably a little bit better to go to in terms of this. I don't even know what the fuck that says. Except, I guess. Unknown person shoots at Market Square, several injured. Several people were injured by gunfire in the central square of Giessen, Germany. Police are on the scene. An unknown assailant opened fire in downtown Giessen. The situation is still unclear. Police are on the scene. According to law enforcement, the emergency call was made at around 3:10 p.m. The serious incident is said to have occurred at a sport betting office at the time. The perpetrator is on the run, but there is no danger to the public, it is said. According to local media reports, the crime scene has been cordoned off. The circumstances surrounding the incident are currently unknown. There is also no reliable information about the number and the extent of injuries. We just know it's several or multiple people that have been shot. So that is that. Let's get into the live chat, ladies and gentlemen, to see your reaction with regard to the shooting in Giessen, and of course what is going on with regard to Ian Watkins. Both breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on both of these stories. Liberty Bell says, every day it's the same thing across the world. Pattern recognition. It is the same. It's exactly the same thing that happens every single time within the West, and certainly in Europe. It's modern day Europe as to what it is. And whilst we don't know the motive of this individual, and whilst we don't know why he did what he did, again, there is a distinct correlation that I could bet on, but I won't because there's an ongoing investigation. But there's a distinct pattern and distinction that I would make, and I think many of you guys would be agreeing with me as to what it is or what it could be about. Clive Griffiths says, never heard of him. Well, I mean, yeah, it was a long time ago, 2013. Chris Hole says, multiple shots, but there was no threat to the public. Yeah, that's something that I was that I was struggling to sort of comprehend. Multiple people shot, so random people were shot, bystanders, that it was saying in their article, not mine, but there's no threat to the public. So these random bystanders that got shot, they had no danger towards them. It doesn't make any. It makes zero sense. Yeah, no danger, but on the run. Watkins won't be missed. Very sick person, did the terrible things that he did. Yeah, for those of you that don't know about Watkins, yeah, quite frankly, an absolute evil human being. Really is, and there's no wonder why the individual would have been targeted in prison. If you find out, read into the heinous crime that he committed. I mean, there's some crimes out there, and his is up there with the very, very worst. Despite not murdering anyone, his crime is the most sick and despicable thing you can think of a human being doing. It's that bad. It's disgusting. And even years later, he didn't show any remorse for what he did. Nothing. Zero remorse whatsoever. Where is this? It was in Giessen, guys. It's in the title. Giessen. Giessen Marketplace in Germany. Giessen is the town. And just whilst we're live, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to check to see if there's any more further updates. Of course, the story is developing, so apologies if the whole story isn't out, and maybe if you're watching this on a replay, the full story will be out a bit later on, I'm sure, as an investigation is ongoing, but there's minimal amounts thus far. If there's any big developments, then be sure we will go live a little bit later on and update you all, but as of yet, not much. Not much in terms of videos, nothing in terms of content from the scene. Usually with these sort of stories, these big breaking stories, you do get a lot of sort of citizen journalism in terms of people on X posting videos from the scene, people posting pictures from the scene, but that's it. And as I said, the only description we've had for this individual, so bearing in mind this guy is currently on the run, cutting around in Germany somewhere in this town, and the only description that they had was a man. A man, that is it. A man. So, German police, what if we were in Germany? You know, it's the same with the UK as well. So, how are we going to help you out with this manhunt when you don't give us a description of what this guy looks like? A man. So, the fact that you caught that he was a man, could you not give us a little bit of detail? Could you not tell us a little bit about what maybe hair colour he has? His outfit? What he was wearing? Skin colour? This sort of thing. The fact that they just said a man, how on earth can you expect people to try and help you out with this manhunt? This urgent manhunt? Or according to authorities in Germany, there's no danger to the public. So, yeah, manhunt ongoing. They seem to have it under control, despite them not knowing where this guy is. And the only description they gave the public was, he's a man. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we've got. Wow. Yeah, damn, that's narrowed the search. Yeah, I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So people that are in Germany, in the Giessen area, we've got a bit of a tiny bit of reach. We might have some British Stand subscribers in and around the German area. But even people tuning in now from Germany, maybe this isn't their local town. Maybe these news headlines are helping out. Maybe someone's walked past him. But just giving description as a man, that's really going to help and aid your sort of search for him. This modern day Europe, we shouldn't laugh, but it is pretty laughable. That's all they give you these days. But just usually, I have to have a guess as to what it will be when they just give a small description about a man. That's it. A man cutting about. Some of these comments, troops. Funny. Debbie, James, honestly, thank you so much for your donation there, by the way. You've donated a membership. Debbie, if you guys don't know Debbie, absolute hero in this chat. She's always giving away gift memberships all of the time. So big shout out to Debbie, and thank you very much again. She is very generous. Thank you. But yeah, some of the comments in here is fantastic. And I'm just going to stay live for a little bit longer just to see if there's any more developments whilst we are live. Apologies. Usually you do get a bit more information with regard to things. But all I can say is that for those of you just tuning in, shooting at a Giessen marketplace, so a town in Germany called Giessen, injuries to several bystanders in Germany. However, they're saying that there is no threat to the public despite there being a current manhunt ongoing looking for the guy. And guess what? Description, man. That's it. Stop a man. And then that's it. That's all you need to know. But troops, that's all we've got right now in terms of if anything develops, if there's a twist in this tale, be sure we will be here to keep you updated with it. But do let me know your thoughts on both stories that we've discussed with regard to Ian Watkins, the breaking news with regard to him, obviously known in the UK, very, very infamous, sick, disgusting man being stabbed to death, of course, in prison. And then, of course, this shooting that has happened in Germany. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you all later.